Here we are again outside. This time we're doing Chapter 2, Section 2 on two-step equations.
The second video in Chapter 2 is related to solving two-step equations. Now, there's 4 problems here I have as examples. One of them doesn't really look like a two-step equation, and you might guess which one that might be. When we get there, I'll show you why it's 2 steps, and then I'll extend that one more example. We'll begin with the first example we have, and you'll notice that this is actually similar to an idea we did in the first section of Chapter 2, where we have a fraction and we want to clear out fractions or get rid of a denominator. I'm not going to use a different color, only so we don't get too cluttered up, but I am going to immediately address the divided by 5 by multiplying both sides by 5. I'm doing that because the divided by 5 dominates the whole left-hand side of the question, and the left-hand side has the x on it. So I want to get rid of that entire dominating divide by 5 piece. The 5s will cancel out. You replace them with 1s. I'm not going to continue to write those 1s all the time. I'm going to get x minus 7 equals, notice negative 3 times 5. And now I'm going to add 7 to both sides. I'm going to get x is negative 8. You could probably have guessed that after we did the first step. I'll go to probably the most classic of all two-step equations, 2x plus 1 equals 11. And you'll see simply get rid of the thing that's around the x first, then get rid of the thing that's closest to x second, and you get your x is 5. Now, though I haven't shown it in this example or the ones in the previous video, you can still always check these answers. It's one of the nice things about equations is that you can confirm you're doing it correctly. 5 up here into the x, 2 5s is 10, plus 1 is 11. It's supposed to be 11, so you know you did it correctly. And if it's a test or quiz or even a homework, you'll know you did it correctly. Now, here's the one that I mentioned, and I'm going to switch colors on this because it's unique. Here's the one that doesn't look like a two-step equation, but it is. And here's why. I want to get m by itself, but you'll notice in this case there's a minus sign in front of that m. That minus sign causes many students issues. Here's why. I want to get rid of the 14, but I don't look at the minus and the 14 together. This 14 is its own thing, and I look at the symbol or lack of symbol in front of the 14 to give me direction. In this case, I don't see anything in front of the 14. That means it's positive. So I'm going to do minus 14 to both sides. Now watch how this plays out. 14 minus 14 becomes 0. I don't normally write that, but I do it here because minus m has to come down. 15 minus 14 is 1, no big deal there. And then as I've seen in the past, when I have the 0, in this case, 0 minus m is negative m. Now I have a negative number, or in this case, a negative value in front of my m. If you think of this as a negative 1, the obvious solution would be divide both sides by negative 1, and that gets rid of the negative on the left. It actually moves it over to the right-hand side, and we have ourselves an answer. Once again, if we're doing a check, if m is negative 1, I have 14 minus negative 1. Minus negative is plus, so 14 plus 1 is 15, and once again, I know my answer is correct. I'll switch back to black for the last one, but you're going to see this come into play one more time. Once again, here's my variable. In these examples, I put the variable always on the left. I could have put them on the right. It wouldn't have changed anything. I'm going to get rid of the 3 first by doing minus 3. I'm going to bring the minus sign down and become negative 4k. That's how I'm going to use it and talk about it in class. This becomes negative 40. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4, and I get k is positive 10. And here we go again, positive 10 here. 4 times positive 10 is 40, so 3 minus 40 is negative 37, and that makes complete sense. We've checked 3 of the 4 answers, and I believe we've reviewed solving two-step equations.